gracias a la radio, fui rumbo a uno de los nuevos monumentos de Vallejo, una ciudad a solo minutos de San Francisco. Me refiero a este puente colgante, el hermano menor del Golden Gate.
¿Esta madera en qué la usan? ¿En qué la usan?
Para los escafos.
¿Y qué es un escafo? O sea, yo no sé lo que...
Escafos es donde la gente camina arriba así, mira.
Oye, ¿te
arriba en lo alto.
¿Te ha tocado subir hasta allá arribota?
Oh, yeah. Yo me subo para arriba y me bajo para abajo.
¿Y no te da miedo?
No, me da gusto.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Deja ver. Veo una manchita acá.
Y si piensan que este buen amigo me despertó la curiosidad de subir una de esas torres, se equivocan. Mi intención es simplemente ser el primero en cruzar el puente a pie.
Dice que para cruzar tengo que subir la torre. It's too high for me. Es muy alto.
That's the only way to get over there.
Yeah, how many feet?
About 400.
400 pies de altura.
Realmente son 430 pies de altura. Y es que hay que ser muy valiente para retar las alturas como lo hacen estos arriesgados obreros. Ellos están acostumbrados, pero yo no.
Oh my God. Where are we at now? ¿Dónde estamos?
You're in the tower leg. We're going 400 feet up.
A este lugar le llaman la pierna de la torre, y para llegar al tope hay que montarse en este estrecho elevador. Su lento ascenso añade más suspenso a la subida, que tarda 3 minutos. El problema es que aún no hemos llegado a la cima. Todavía faltan 30 pies que hay que subir por escaleras. Al fin llegamos. Les cuento que no voy a hacer el más mínimo esfuerzo en ocultar mi temor. Aunque después de ver al valiente trabajador pintando una de las paredes del puente, como que siento menos miedo.
¡Hey! ¡No tiene miedo! ¿No tiene, you're not afraid? Dice que no tiene miedo, hombre.
¿Se imaginan tener que estar a esta altura todos los días durante 10 horas? Y eso no es todo. Ya terminado este proyecto, todos se empacan y se van al próximo, que es tan arriesgado como este. ¿Qué va? Yo mejor me bajo y sigo rumbo a mi próxima aventura.
Due to the latest terrorist threat. In spite of the warning, hundreds of people turned out to celebrate California's first new suspension span since the Golden Gate Bridge was finished in 1937. John Sasaki reports from the East Bay city of Crockett.
The opening of the first suspension bridge in the country in 30 years was much too big for a simple ribbon-cutting ceremony. Governor Gray Davis and a host of other dignitaries presided over a chain-cutting ceremony. And with that, the new ALFRED Zampa bridge connecting Crockett and Vallejo was open.
This bridge will be a powerful reminder of California's sense of innovation and hard work.
Once it opened, some 10,000 people, including kids, marching bands, and man's best friend, got to walk across the new span. It's almost 3,500 feet long, reaches 420 feet into the sky, and will carry traffic on I-80 safely into Crockett.
This is built to withstand the strongest earthquake we can project happening in this area. And so it's a degree of safety that people haven't seen before. This is literally leading-edge technology worldwide.
It even has a pedestrian bike lane, all of which is a huge improvement over the 76-year-old original westbound bridge.
Oh, it's ugly. Have you ever gone across it? It's horrible. You just think, oh, God, get me on the other side quickly. Yeah, this is nice. This is really nice.
The total price tag, including the tearing down of the old span, is $500 million. It's a big job that's being successfully completed in tough economic times.
It shows that good work can happen. It also shows when the people vote and invest new money, extra money towards what they care about, it gets done.
The bridge is named for late iron worker ALFRED Zampa, who worked on most of the Bay Area's bridges. His family couldn't be more tickled.
I'm very proud. So is my brother.
This was perhaps the last major event for which Governor Gray Davis could be present before leaving office.
Well, I'm very proud of everyone who built this. This is a wonderful contribution to the mobility of the Bay Area, and it will remain as a shining tribute to everyone who built it.
A huge fireworks show capped off the evening. At the end of the show, crews hit a switch and turned on the lights that will always show the bridge outline at night. The new Zampa Bridge is set to open for traffic sometime in the next 2 days, depending on the weather and how soon crews can put on the final touches. In Crockett, I'm John Sasaki, KTVU Channel 2 News.
Will not open to regular traffic until the road dries up enough to let workers paint traffic lines. KRON 4's Cheryl Casoni has more on today's celebration.
Soon-to-be former Governor Gray Davis kicked off the opening of the Carquinez Bridge with a blowtorch. In his last days as acting governor, Davis was all smiles.
It will remain as a shining tribute to everyone who built it.
Thousands gathered to celebrate with marching bands, vintage cars, and umbrellas on this, a chilly day. It took 3 years and cost more than $500 million to get here. The 3,400-foot ALFRED Zampa Memorial Bridge will carry 4 lanes of traffic on Interstate 80, including a carpool. Next year, a pedestrian walkway and bicycle route are scheduled to open as well. Today's ceremony's earlier than some had expected, but state officials say it was cost-effective.
By opening the bridge earlier than we had anticipated, we actually save about $26,000 a day.
It's named after ALFRED Zampa, a Bay Area iron worker who not only survived a fall off the Golden Gate, but worked on the Carquinez and many other Bay Area bridges. His family was on hand today and says he's here in spirit.
I don't think he could take it in. I don't think he'd be able to express the excitement.
We were there the first day they turned the shovel. We loved Al Zampa. He was a personal friend.
While the weather has certainly dampened the festivities, it's also dampening when the bridge will open to traffic. It was scheduled to open on Sunday, but they've still got some painting to do. Caltrans says now the bridge may not open to traffic until Monday. In Vallejo, Cheryl Casoni, KRON 4 News.
Oh, what a mess. Lots of commuters are calling today's first commute across the Al Zampa Memorial Bridge a fiasco. Last-minute lane closures made for a grueling morning drive on the span between Vallejo and Crockett. Drivers were backed up more than 5 miles all morning long. Some said it took them 2 to 3 hours just to get to the new span. At the heart of the congestion was Caltrans paving and striping work. I thought it was done on the approach to the bridge, which funneled drivers into only 1 lane of traffic.
We had to go as soon as we could when we got the break in the weather, and that was last night. So we went forward, did the final asphalt paving and the striping, and this is basically how it had to go. The treat that you get is to be the first commuters over the new bridge.
I'm sure that made it worth it. Caltrans got all of the approach lanes open by about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Traffic recovered quickly, and drivers are now moving smoothly across the new Zampa Bridge.
Dennis, traffic heading westbound approaching the new Zampa Memorial Bridge from Vallejo to Crockett is now moving as Caltrans had hoped it would from the start. But it took hours and hours to get to this point. Just after the Zampa Bridge opened for use at 6:30 this morning, the traffic nightmare started for thousands of drivers. The traffic backed up on I-80 all the way to Highway 37 on the north end of Vallejo.
It's insane. It's insane. I don't even know what's going on. It looks like road construction or something, but we've been here an hour and a half. We've maybe gone 4 miles, right outside Marine Road. We've been sitting in traffic.
What's going on. We got to get to the airport in like a half hour. We're never going to make it.
When Caltrans opened the new bridge, it only opened 1 lane of I-80 on the approach. Then as crews finished striping each additional lane, they opened more of the roadway. All 3 lanes were finally open at about 1:15 this afternoon, almost 7 hours after the bridge opened.
Caltrans sucks. Their plans could be a lot better than this. We've been in this line for 3 hours.
I don't know why they chose a day like this on a holiday to do this.
It's nuts.
Caltrans officials say they did not expect this amount of traffic because of the Veterans Day holiday, and that the striping and changing of lanes had to be done this way, they say, for safety reasons.
This is California at a stupidity. I mean, why don't they do this at night? I mean, this is the most stupidest thing I ever seen in my life.
Caltrans officials told me by phone late this afternoon, quote, if you want to blame anyone, blame Mother Nature, unquote, because it rained so much over the weekend. Now, one driver told us he was missing an airline flight because of the backup, and another told us she was not going to make it to her father's funeral. Live in Vallejo, I'm John Sasaki, KTVU, Channel 2 News.
It was a gradual opening of the new westbound span, only 1 lane open during the morning commute.
I live less than 2 miles from this bridge, and it's taken
We're all trying to get the work getting made, and it kind of bites for everybody.
Once you finally get to the bridge, it's a wide open view of its beauty. $240 million created one of the strongest and safest bridges in the world.
And smartest. It's got seismic sensors built into it to analyze exactly how the structure moves in an earthquake.
The ALFRED Zampa Memorial Bridge is named after a Bay Area iron worker. Zampa worked on all the Bay Area bridges during his career. In 1936, he survived a fall off the Golden Gate Bridge by landing in some netting. He passed away just a few years ago at the age of 95. His friends say Zampa would have loved to see the new bridge, which is wider and roomier, aimed at making your commute smoother, except for today, during its historical opening. Some locals say it's worth the temporary headache.
It's beautiful. We've been watching it go up. I live in Crockett, so we've just kind of been watching the whole construction process for the last 3 years.
Caltrans didn't think the traffic would be so bad because it's a holiday. It's Veterans Day. Now, the reason why they only opened one lane of traffic is because Caltrans has to shift all the traffic from the old bridge to the new bridge. And when you do that, you have to restripe the entire approach. And that's a last-minute job. In Vallejo, Janelle Wang, ABC 7 News.
Caltrans officially opened the Zampa Bridge at 6:30 this morning to regular traffic, and as you can see, traffic tonight is flowing very smoothly, but boy, did the opening get off to a rocky start. What Caltrans hoped would be a simple transfer of traffic from the old span to the new one turned out to be an historic headache.
Oh my goodness, this is incredible.
How long have you been sitting out here?
3 hours and 47 minutes. We should have did it on a weekend.
Some commuters described the I-80 backup that started around 5:30 this morning and lasted past noon as unbelievable, while others use different words.
This is ridiculous. This is a wrong time to do it.
But to get traffic onto the new Zampa Bridge, Caltrans says this was the only time crews could do the paving work to move vehicles off the approach to the old one.
We had to go the first opportunity we had for good weather, and that came yesterday.
This is the approach to the old bridge. On that side is the approach to the new Zampa Bridge. At 6 o'clock last night, Caltrans said it had to shut down lanes on this side in order to get its crews in so they can pave lanes on that side. Caltrans admits it did underestimate traffic on Veterans Day.
Backup was a little bit more than we had anticipated.
A bit more? Try hours more.
4 hours. We got on in Fairfield at 7 o'clock. I'm not even through Vallejo yet. 4 hours.
Fortunately for this commuter, he brought a book. How far have you gotten?
Halfway through it.
What page did you start on?
From the beginning.
Ironically, he's reading Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Good advice, says this weary commuter who tried to see the backup in the bigger picture. Is worth the new bridge?
I think so. I believe so. Oh, absolutely. This is probably just a one-time.
A lot of angry commuters said Caltrans should have waited until the weekend when there's less traffic to do the paving work. Well, Caltrans could have, but what if there was a massive earthquake between now and then? The new bridge is built to withstand big earthquakes, while the old one would likely collapse on it, so you can bet that commuters would rather be late to work than to never get to work at all. Live in Vallejo, Linton Johnson, NBC 11 News.
Thanks, Linton. What a mess.